We all use objects, but who uses map? Maps were introduced in ECMAScript 6 and they provide much more security and efficiency. But why do casual web devs sleep on them? What's the difference between maps and plain objects? We start with the syntax. While maps are simply accessible using class methods, objects are more syntactical and faster to write. Both provide a key value store, but maps can use any primitive or object type as key, whereas objects can just use strings and symbols as keys. Both can have primitive and object types as values. Maps provide a clear insertion order that objects have not provided until the latest updates, so we cannot guarantee an insertion order in objects. Also, maps implement the iterable protocol and are per default iterable. They provide out-of-the-box methods like for each, size, keys, values, and are compatible with the for/of loop syntax. To iterate through objects, one must first call the static object class methods to get the key, values, or entries from JavaScript objects. These can then be iterated through. When it comes to performance, having a small dataset does not make a big difference. But as the dataset grows, map clearly outperforms objects in terms of write, update, and deletion. One major drawback of maps is that they are not natively serializable. To stringify a map, you have to write a custom replacer to serialize the data. To deserialize, you have to write a custom receiver for the JSON module. Plain JavaScript objects can easily be serialized into JSON using the JSON stringify and JSON parse methods. In terms of security, maps are protected against unsanitized user input, but objects are vulnerable to the prototype pollution attacks if unsanitized user input is passed as keys into the objects. In summary, there are some crucial differences between maps and objects. If you need to keep track of the insertion order, frequent updates and deletions, dynamic keys, and in general big datasets, it's useful to use maps. If you just create an ephemeral bucket of data to send to an API, or just need an object representation of an DTO, it's useful to use plain objects.